Alright, so today we have a new tool on our table. It is our machine that collects the dust called a dust collector. There's dust everywhere. It's so gritty and gross. Okay. What we are going to start with is getting to know our tool. Okay? So let's do that. We are going to be using the toenail today, and then we're going to be changing the paper today for sure, and we're going to be throwing the toenails away, okay? All right, it has already been used twice today, so it should be dusty and soiled. Soiled, not dirty, like, you know, there's like gunk on it, but there's dust all over it, okay? When we go through and take the filter out, please don't turn the filter over. Okay, because it's 2 class periods worth of dust in there already. But at the end of class, you will be taking it to the trash can and dusting it out to be ready for the next day. Your drill's not turning on. Are you plugged in? Your power strip is turned on. The light is on. Alright, perfect. So, our dust collector, okay, has the outlet. It's plugged in. Yours should already be plugged in if somebody does not have one. Okay, they're here on the bottom of the cart. Someone just didn't sit in that table today. So on that box in the bottom of the cart is where you can find the dust collector. This dust collector is like a, you know, Amazon, one from Amazon. In no way, shape, or form is this dust collector a professional brand at all. Okay, it comes in this box here. It is not a named, it's like a no-name type of brand, right? And it's just generic. That being said, the box is either in your drawer or somewhere around your table. But that being said, it's not going to suction that much. Okay, there are some dust collectors from professional brands that the fan, the RPMs of the fan, the rotation per minute is got more power and has more suction power. You can put, like, you know, a file here, flip it over, and the file does not come off, right? It doesn't fall off. And so that just pretty much is a stronger machine. These are not that, okay? So they work, but not amazing. All right, so let's dissect this and see what this is about. So it's a square shape, okay? The disc on the top of it in the middle has an image of a fan. It means that there's a fan under there, okay? Don't stick your fingers in here when the fan is on. On the edge somewhere, there's an arrow on the silver plate on the edge. That arrow should be pointing to a lock. About an inch or 2 or inch and a half away from that lock is the unlock. You can barely tell it's unlocked, okay? You're going to insert your finger slightly and you're going to rotate, and you're going to be able to spin like a DJ turntable. When you're able to spin, you're going to take your fingers, insert, and you're going to remove the disc, right? This is the cover, the vent cover. Okay? A little dusty because, again, like I said, we've been using it. Once you remove that, okay, I know, you guys stick your fingers in there and pull it out. Once you remove that, you have the dust that's already, again, because we've used it last 2 class periods. But once you remove that, you're going to have the filter. The filter, just like at home or, you know, at restaurants, the filters that we have up there that suction all the smell out, right? This is a filter. Needs to and can be replaced. Here, because we only do 1 finger at a time, right? We don't use it for clients. You know, we don't replace them. We just clean them out, okay? So how you do that? There's a little ribbon, and you can pull the ribbon out, but you got to keep this straight, keep it flat. Pull a little ribbon, tug on the ribbon, and you're able to pull it out. You can see in there, there's some dust already, okay? Should be quite a bit because it's both first and second period. All the dust that is in there is dust that would have been elsewhere or on your tabletop or on your clothes or wherever, okay? So in here, this is the spinning mechanism that rotates. This is the fan. Don't ever open this with it on. I always unplug it when I do this just to make sure, because sometimes these are very, the buttons are very easily turned on or moved, and then this starts spinning, okay? In here, when it's off, you can dust it off, take a cloth and wipe it to keep it clean. This should not really ever have stuff inside of, but it does get through, okay? These filters, you can buy them per the manufacturer that makes these. They should also sell filters. If not, you can buy generic filters that fit, okay? It's always best to buy the filter that goes with the brand, okay, because it's the best fit. So with this, what you do, you pull it out very carefully. You take it to a trash can, you flip it over, you tap, 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 and dust. Like literally, if this is the trash can, I'm going like this, and all the dust is falling out, okay? You do that after each client, okay? In theory, it's best to change the dust filter after each client. Gets expensive, okay? So people change it out at the end of the day. There's, a lot with that, but we'll talk about that at a later time. So we're going to insert that back in the same direction with the little ribbon outward, so it's easy for us to pull out and remove later today whenever you're going to go dump it in the trash. You're going to find the arrow on the plates, put it on the unlock position, and then you're going to stick your fingers in there slightly and rotate it to the lock, and it's going to click, and you should not be able to turn it like a DJ turntable. That's how you know it's locked into place. Okay? Cool? Okay. All right. So, let me show you this way. Don't turn yours around. Let me turn mine around. On the underneath, you're going to have these holes. These are like vent holes. The air comes out from the bottom. So on the sides, you're going to feel that burst of air. It's going to get a little cold. But the air gets just like those up there. They get sucked in this way and they come out towards the bottom. So it creates this circular vortex type situation. Okay? So just FYI, that's how this machine works. In general, they all work the same. There's different colors, different shapes, different heights, different powers, but it sucks air in, kicks it out, and then the filter traps in all the debris. Okay? Okay. All right, so we are now going to test it out. Place your hand on the top, put your hand on the side. You're going to feel your hand getting sucked in. It's not very powerful. And then you're going to feel the air sucked out. You're going to turn it on, feel it, and hear it. Anything that's on the outskirts that's not anchored or heavy, it's going to kind of just blow it out of the way. Go all the way till you get to your maximum. Then you can feel that. How you know it's working or not, you take a tissue paper and you put it here, it should suction it. If it doesn't suction, then it's not working. Take your hands and cup them. Feel that? Feel the suction? Hear the sound? Alright, turn it off. Let me get another buffer. Okay, what we are going to do is we're going to do a drill. Back in the day, I used to bring eggs from the store, and we would color the egg with a marker, matte pencil, or crayon. And then we would get our drill and we would drill the color off of the egg. The egg was not boiled. And so the goal is that you're turning the egg back white or brown, depending on what egg, we bought. But you're removing the surface stain, right? And that technique or that practice, that drill that you're doing of repetitive motions and the pressure you're pushing allows you to not hurt the client. And if you push too hard or you angled your drill too steeply, you will then crack the egg. And if you crack the egg, then you damage the nail surface. Plus, there was egg everywhere. I got messy and stinky, so we don't do that anymore. So now we do it with the buffer. You're going to find the softer end of the buffer. And let's begin. All right, so with our drill, okay, you should always store your drill with just the bar. So we're going to unlock our machine, pull out this bar. The bar is just a long tube, if you will, if you don't already have that. And we're going to insert this bit. It's pointy. Yes, all the bits have names. We're not getting into all that today, okay? We're keeping it basic. But you're going to dust off the bottom of that bit and you're going to insert it and lock it into place, making sure that it is nice and snug in there. And we always never pull too much, just tug on it a little bit. RPMs, rotation per minute. How many times does this barrel rotate in 1 minute? Okay. Here it says speed times 1,000. Okay. 30 times 1,000. 15 times 1,000. 2 times 1,000. That's your RPM. Okay. So we're going to take, okay. Yes, last week we talked about these circular lines that get indented into the surface of the nail. Those are called rings of fire. When a client gets their nails done, it shouldn't hurt, and they shouldn't have rings of fire. Rings of fire because they're rings, they're circular, and fire because they burn, right? It's like carpet burn. So we're going to take our buffer. I'm going to do it from the side. And we're going to take our drill at a 45-degree angle and we're going to go across. So you're going to go ahead and go to F15. And turn your fan on. Turn your dust collector on, maximum speed. Get close to your plate. My pinky is resting on my buffer or my pinkies are kissing for stability. Hold that at a 45-degree angle. Take press down and drill. And you should have created an indentation. Should be a line. That's not good. You should not have an indentation. You should not have a hole in the surface of the nail, because that means you just created a ring of fire on your client. Remember that the nail is a helmet for the bone. You just dug a hole in the helmet. It's not as safe. So, now hold the drill parallel to the surface, and now drill across. You do not have a hole that time. Okay? You're going to take your drill, and on the outer edge, you're going to go top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, creating a vertical rectangle, making sure that you are removing the surface area evenly. As you're removing the grit of the buffer is going to turn dark. Be careful on your edges. Maximum control. There should not be an indentation. Turn your machines off when you are done. On the first one we did, we got an indentation, a hole. That's not okay. If you did that to your client, you did it wrong. That's DIY YouTuber nail tech. Didn't pay attention in school, does not know what she or he is doing. Because anytime there is damage on the surface of the nail, you're doing it wrong. You're paying someone to hurt you, and it shouldn't be that way. Getting your nails done should not hurt. Okay? Turn your machines off when you're done. As you are looking at the difference of the two, when you held the drill at the wrong angle, you made a hole. When you held it at the correct angle, which is parallel to the surface, you do not have a hole. When you run your finger over that dark rectangle that goes from side to side, you don't feel the grit anymore because you just rubbed it all off. You can feel the grit on the rest of the buffer. When you look at it from the side, it kind of ramps down a little bit, but there's no indication that you just took a chunk off of it. It just blends downward. That is the correct way to do it. Okay? Don't be that DIY nail tech. Okay? Do it correctly. It's all in how you hold and the angle that you hold. Alright? Cool? Okay. We put that to the side. We're going to change our bit. Take that one out. We're going to put the drum back in that we used last week. Always wipe off the tip end of it so you don't get dust and gunk in here. It's hard to clean that. Put it in with the sanding belt that we used last week and lock it into place. And don't tug too hard, but just make sure it's snug. Remember that this does rotate. It's okay. It's all right if it rotates. It's not supposed to lock in necessarily. Okay? All right, so if you look at, now I've used this the wrong way, so you should be able to tell. And I used it 3 times, but the corner edge is worn out. When the corner edge of your sanding belt is worn out, it no longer is going to remove any of your product that's on the nail, the acrylic. Okay? This drill, okay, this bit that holds the sanding belt, when you roll it around, you should be able to see the wear and tear. Or you should see product, and that's where you're going to find your angle or see your angle. If you have worn out the corner edge, that means you hold it at an angle because it has more waste there. Have you ever seen the bottom of someone's shoes? And like the inner corner is like worn out, or the outer corner is worn out. It's because they drag their feet, or they step with pronoun, or like they step on the inside or the outside of their sole, right, of the foot. And so like that part of the rubber of the shoe gets torn the most because it's rubbing against, you know, the surface of the ground. So same thing with your buffers, your sanding belts, you know, your files, is when you look at it, wherever you see the most worn areas is where you may contact the most. So if you're noticing that it's more just on the corner edge, check your angle. Okay, it should be even for the most part. Okay. Also, when you go to a nail tech and they are about to do your nails and they bust out with something like this, run. Run. Why run? Why? What does this mean if I'm about to do your nails and it looks like this? It's used. It's used. Or what if I cut somebody accidentally, microscope, I didn't see the little thing of blood, or I did and I just wiped it and there's blood on here. I'm going to use it on you. Or what if I cut you? Merry Christmas, happy birthday, you got whatever's in there, right? No, we do not. We're reusing them because we're working on the mannequin and we're learning, but we do not reuse them on people. These are disposable, just like a tissue. You don't share boogers, you don't share these, okay? Okay. All right, so we are going to put this down really quick on your thing. It's always good to make sure to clamp it so that it doesn't pull off. So put the U shape at the bottom where the cord is, okay? We're going to take our permanent marker. We're going to prep this first so it'll dry, and then we'll come back to it later. Put your nail tip in here. What we're going to do is we're going to number it. If I said, hey guys, we're having a party, we're going to meet downtown at the underground tunnels, same spot that we had lunch when we did our field trip last year, we'll see you there tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Not all of you are going to go down the same streets or park in the same parking lot, but you're going to get there. So you're going down a way, but there's not the way to go, right? This is a way to do it. It's not the only way. This is just a way, okay? All right, so you have the plane of the nail. We're going to draw the numbers first, and then we're going to draw the grids. So we're going to draw the number 1 right in the middle, along like so. That's the number 1. Right in the middle, okay? On the left side of the number 1, we are going to draw the number 2. Same size, So now we have what looks like a 21 drawn on the left side of the nail. We're going to go to the right side of the nail. On the bottom right corner, we're going to draw the number 3. On top of the number 3 on the right side, we're going to draw the number 4. 1 in the middle, 2 on the left. Looks like a 21. We're going to go to the right, 3 on the bottom corner, 4 on top of the 3. Okay. Our 5 is going to be at the cuticle area, so we're going to draw a 5 at the top. The numbers don't make sense just yet, but they'll make sense in a little bit. So those are our numbers. Is this the only way to do it? No, it's just a way to do it. You're going to take your line, and you're going to go either horizontal or vertical. We're going to start horizontal. We're going to start backwards. Under the number 5, across the nail, we're going to draw a horizontal line. Horizontal line across the nail at the top, under the 5. Okay. We're going to do a vertical line to isolate the 4 and the 3. So, from between the 1 and the 4, we're going to draw a line down to the tip, isolating the 4 and the 3 from the 21. At some point, the lines get mushed together. It's fine. There's a line. So you got 5 on the top, 21 on the bottom left, 4 and 3 on the right. You now have to isolate the 4 and the 3. So you're going to draw a horizontal line between the 4 and the 3. So you have 5, 4, 3, 21. Well, it's not really 21. It's a 2 and a 1. So we're going to isolate the 2 and the 1, drawing a vertical line between the 2 and the 1. Okay? So now you have 5 sections. The 1 is in the middle. The 2 is on the left. The 3 is on the bottom right. The 4 is on top of the 3. And the 5 is at the cuticle area. Okay? This is just one way. There are many ways. One way. We don't have time to go through all the ways. Okay? One way. 1 in the middle, 2 on the left, 3 on the bottom right, 4 on top of that, 5 in the cuticle. Each one is divided by a grid. We're going to let that dry fully. We're going to put that off to the side. Okay? I'll put that right there in case you need it. All right, we're going to take our toenail. Any toenail, does not matter what. Wait, did we do this already? No, okay, I'm sorry. You're going to take your toenail. Oh, it's over here, that's why. This one was from last class period. I was wondering why it's already filed. You're going to take your toenail. You're going to take the toenail off of the tape. Does not matter which toenail you use. We today are going to throw these away and change our papers for sure because it's super dusty. We're going to turn on our machines. We're going to go F15 first, and then we're going to go F30. What you're going to do is you're going to take the nail and you're going to buff out, you're going to file and drill the sides, the bottom and the top to smooth it out to make it a perfect little rectangle. You're going to start with F15 and you're going to feel the power of the drill. Okay, and then you're going to do to F30 and feel how much more power you get. Be careful with your fingers. And at some point, when you get to the edge, it kind of like flicks it. So be careful that doesn't flick it out of your hand. Okay, so turn your dust collector all the way. Turn your file to your drill to F15. Get a good grasp of it. Get close to your the top bench, the plate. Pinky's kiss, and you're going to smooth it out to perfect. Make the sides even, smooth it out. Pay attention to what direction the dust is moving towards. Now go to F30. F30 on your drill. Feel the power in your hand. Grasp the nail a little bit stronger. Yeah, watch your fingers. You can hear it. You can feel it. You can see all the dust flowing out. You can, oh yeah, you can hear it. You can also feel the heat because the stronger, the more faster RPM, rotation per minute, the more friction, and it creates heat. Imagine on the natural nail, okay? All right, pause it there. Feel the nail. It should be a little warm. It should be. Remember, and I don't say this to go do it. Don't ever do this, right? But I say it so you'll never forget my analogy. There's a girl. You're fighting. You don't like her. You got her by the chongo. You have her down on the concrete. The more you push, the more damage you make. Okay? The higher your machine, the more rotations per minute, and the more you press down with your drill, the more you remove. Yes, you remove more faster, but what happens if you catch the skin? I mean, Kimberly was like, right over here, like she can hear that. What happens if your hair gets caught, right? Because your hair comes down and it's rotating that fast. You have to be aware when you're using the drill can be used as a weapon. Okay, so please make sure, if at all possible, always just use your file. You don't need the drill. And I'll give you my whole speech on the drill later. But when you can, fix your problem before it hardens, that you have to go fix it. And if you need to fix it, the drill is best. The hand file is best, not the drill. There's professionals that will shoot me in the face for saying that, but we'll go over the why later, okay? All right, so we're going to unlock, remove. We're going to take this bit right here, and we're going to dust off the bit.
9:30, ADA attendance reminder.
We're going to insert it and lock it into place and make sure it is in there. Because remember, it rotates fast. If it's not locked in there, it's going to shoot out someone's eyeball. Okay? All right. We now have our finger. Remember, not at a 45-degree angle. We're going to put it flat. We're going to go backwards from what you previously learned. You're like, wait, what? Just go with it for now, okay? We're going to go and remove the 1. Then we're going to work towards the left, remove 2. Then remove 3. Then remove 4. And then when you get to 5, look, you're going to turn your file pointing towards the cuticle, and you're going to go from right to left. And we're not, no. Up, down, up, down. You should hear, zzz, zzz, zzz. You should go, zzz, 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 zzz. That, okay? So turn full power. Go to F30. And you're removing the black and a layer of the shine. Pinkies must kiss. Start in the middle and go down. Oops, sorry. Then the 3. Then the 4. Watch out with the skin. Then the 5. Turn your file. Turn your drill pointing upwards. Remember to stay away from the eponychium, which is the cuticle. Go slow. When you're done, you're going to turn your machines off. Dust your finger downward to get all the dust off of your finger. Now you didn't wear gloves today, but you should feel all the gunk on your hand. If you can stick your tongue out and you can almost lick the finger, quit being weird. We don't kiss the client's hands. Back your face up a little bit. The closer you are to the drill, without a mask especially, all of that is in your nose or your mouth or your eyes. So the further away you can be, the better. Once you're done, you can turn your machines off. All right, so here's what to look for. Okay, just want to make sure everybody got done. Okay, here's what to look for. When you're done, I'm going to use this to point. If you see any dark, right, that means that you did not remove the shine or the acrylic or the color properly. That means that you did not go even, okay? The reason for the numbers and the grid is so that you don't overdo it and so that you go in order. Have you ever seen a video of someone cleaning the driveway with a power washer? It's so satisfying, like, right? And all the gunk is coming away. Imagine if there was someone that came to your driveway, you're paying them money, and they go, and it's all over, and there's like, it looks like someone scribbled on your driveway. You wouldn't pay for that, right? It would drive you insane because there's a bunch of dots left. Well, that's what happens when you don't go in order, okay? The second reason, right, is when you go over 1, you're done. You don't go back over 1 again. Why? Look at your nails like you're going to poke you in the eyeball. How much more can you take off? They are already thin. So if I do and I'm going over and over and over in the same spot, you're damaging that helmet, which protects the bone, right? So with your acrylic, if you're doing acrylic and you're going over and over and over in the same spot, you're just thinning out the acrylic and then making the nail brittle and maybe uneven, right? So start in the middle, you get through 1. You continue towards the left to 2. Why did we go, usually I told you last week, top to bottom, left to right. This time we're going backwards. because it's a forward rotation, and also too because you want to avoid damaging the cuticle area or the skin. So if you break it down in that pattern, right, middle, and then you go around like a at sign, you will have more, you'll be more effective, and you'll be have more efficiency when you're removing the acrylic, okay? Once you remove the surface, don't go back over that same section, all right? So now take your buffer, the most rough side of your buffer, and you're going to buff the surface. Remember, there's a cat that has been locked into the in the room, and you went to work, you came home, and your cat now has scratched the entire door because it's been trying to get out. So the wood is all scratched up. You have to buff out those scratches. So we're going to use the rough side of the buffer and then flip it over for the softer side of the buffer. And you are generating a very, very fine dust. But as you are buffing it, you're getting rid of those scratches. Don't forget the tippy tip and the sides. You're going to turn your vent off and dust downward. And your nails should be soft. Okay? With your vent on, you're going to brush to get all that dust into the vent. When you're ready, you're gonna turn that off. You're gonna open that, and you're gonna take your filter to the trash can and tap, tap, tap before you replace it. Okay? Questions? Don't forget to take the drill bit off and to store with the bar. Okay, store the drill with the bar, not the bit. Okay. All right, let's see who's going to reboot, Simon.